whispers in the morning.
Yeah, I have this here. So, for example, maybe this month I saw my period on the 2nd. I'm going to bring a calendar and then mark it on the 2nd of the month. Then the entire blood is going to flow for that period and then stop. Then the next month, when it starts again, on the first day I see that period, I'm going to mark it on a calendar, and that day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, the whole blood is going to stop. I'll keep on calculating the first days of all the whole periods and marking it on the calendar. Then with time, what I do is I calculate how many days are in between all these periods. So if I'm to count, I'm going to count from here. I count the day 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Okay,
11.
this is SirMajesty Easy World Science Channel, the Easy World of Science. Today in our health tips, we'll be handling how to calculate your menstrual cycle accurately to avoid misinterpreting the period that you are fertile and the time that you are not fertile. This is also advantageous for people looking for people having problems having children, so that you know the actual time to have this sex, and it becomes very significant, and the time to avoid sex if you don't want any child. I'm not alone in the house today. I have a resourceful person today, a female doctor, a very experienced and also a nice person in the house today by name Dr.Nneoma. Dr.Nneoma, you're welcome to SirMajesty Easy World. So
Thank
what
you
do you
so
say to
much.
our viewers today?
Happy watching. Menstruation is the normal periodic flow of blood through the vaginal tract of a woman. That's from the uterus, from the womb. That's where the blood comes out from. But then it passes through the vagina and then is discharged onto the outside world where you can see it as the blood. So menstruation is normal because the other bleedings from the um, body of a woman, but menstruation is a normal and then periodic flow of blood from the genital tract of a woman.
Okay, thank you. So, is it every woman that will have this menstruation at all time and at all ages?
Yes, all women normally have should menstruate. Yes, except there is something wrong with you. Every woman should see their menstruation.
Okay, at least at the age of menarche, maybe
Yes, at
possibly.
menarche usually starts around 14. So by the age of 16, any girl that has not seen her menstruation actually should be checked by a doctor to know if there's anything wrong with her, because by 16, every girl should have at least started seeing their period.
Okay, we'll discuss that in a separate video when we talk about delayed menarche. But here we are concerned on how to teach you how to calculate this particular menstrual cycle accurately. So, having told you what menstruation is, and for you not to see it as abnormality, that is one of the signs that you are a woman. The next is just to see how we can do this thing very, very well. So, what's the importance of accurately calculating? The question now is the importance of accurately calculating your menstrual cycle. What's the need? Why must every woman be aware of her menstrual cycle?
Okay, knowing how to calculate your menstrual cycle is very important. Like, it's very, very important. The first thing is, as an adolescent person, as a single lady, you need to be able to calculate your period, to be able to predict when next you're going to see your menstruation, so that it's not like you are going outside that day and then all of a sudden you just notice blood on your body and you're surprised, I'm having my period. But if you accurately calculate it, you can predict when you're going to see your period and then be able to prepare adequately. Then the second one is, for people who are married, it is important to know your menstrual cycle because it's going to affect the timing of your sexual intercourse, when you want, whether you want to have a child or if you're using it for abstinence. Knowing your normal menstrual cycle will help you to practice the natural family planning method. So it helps you to prevent pregnancy or to have a baby if you want. Then even when you're pregnant, knowing your menstrual cycle also helps you to be able to date the age of your baby. Like, when you go to, for a pregnant woman now that goes to a hospital, they keep on asking you, when was your last menstrual period, when was the last menstrual period. So you have to always know it, and not just knowing how to calculate it, knowing the dates and having it recorded somewhere. So it's very important to know how to calculate your menstrual cycle. Very important.
Okay, that's very nice. Good of you. From what she just said, it means that first, you knowing your menstrual cycle will prevent public embarrassment.
Yes, very
Then,
important though.
secondly, it will help you detect the time you have this fertile time if you want to have a baby, and also for child spacing, for child dating, according to her, so that you know the actual date. If you want to space your children 2 years, 3 years, if you don't have the knowledge of a menstrual cycle, you cannot do this, whereby you are just waiting for the chance. And some people, you can even suffer the problem of not raising a baby properly, you are pregnant already. So you have seen that this is very necessary and important for every woman. So now, what are the steps? What are the methods? What can you tell a young lady or even a grown up on how? Because some women are just there, they don't know these things. I want you to tell us the detailed method for one to assess her menstrual cycle, that is to know it accurately. How it varies from individual, then the method every person, every woman should use to know
Okay.
her own menstrual cycle.
Well, to calculate your menstrual cycle, it actually takes a bit of time to be able to get the average number of your menstrual cycle, and then you divide it to know what actually is your expected cycle. So to do this, you are going to calculate your cycles for a period of at least 3 months. What this means is, let's assume we are starting now, and then in this month, and we are assuming that you, the first day you saw your period this month, that's the first blood you saw, the day it came out first, was say on the 2nd of this month. Yes, you can.
Okay.
Was, yeah, I have this here. I don't know if my camera can see this. So, for example, maybe this month I saw my period on the 2nd. I'm going to bring a calendar and then mark it on the 2nd of the month. Then the entire blood is going to flow for that period and then stop. Then the next month, when it starts again, on the first day I see that period, I'm going to mark it on a calendar, and that day, day one, day two, day three, day four, the whole blood is going to stop. I'll keep on calculating the first days of all the whole periods and marking it on the calendar. Then with time, what I do is I calculate how many days are in between all these periods. So if I'm to count, I'm going to count from here. I count the day one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So I stop on the day before the next period starts. So that's from this month to this month, I had a 29-day cycle. Then calculating this the same way here, this is a 30-day cycle. So I'm going to do this for a period of like 3 months at least, and then get all the whole the cycle, and then find the average. What the average means is I'm going to add 29 plus 30 plus the other one, and then divide it by 3. If I'm counting 3 months, I'm going to divide it by 3, and I'm going to find the average number. So if I do 29 plus 30 divided by 2, um it's going to give me 29.5, but we know that there's no 0.5 day. So I know that my period is either 29 days or 30 days. So I know that that's my average cycle length. So that is how to calculate your menstrual cycle.
Hi, my name is Cheryl.
And I'm Jennifer.
Guess what? There's a channel called SirMajesty Easy World Science.
And do you know the best part?
Mm-hmm.
It makes science so easy. Wow.
It makes science easy, simplified, and very, very fun.
Guess what? Rocket science ain't rocket science anymore.
It's now ABC.
Like if you did science your entire life.
Another thing about SirMajesty Easy World Science channel is that he makes available laboratory equipment and reagents.
Guess the best part? If chemistry has been hard for you, he does tutorials.
And another thing is, when you order for these things, they are high quality and they are also cheap and affordable for anybody.
If you want to order, just look at the number below the screen.
And don't forget to subscribe and hit the little notification button down below.
Don't forget to share, of course, obviously there's love in sharing.
Thank you. See you there.
I hope there is any question on that.
Okay, it's clear.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah, from what she just shown us now, you can now do it with your own calendar. And remember, the month we are talking about here is not the normal calendar month. We have January, February. Every woman supposed to have her own month from what she's saying. The day you start seeing the flow, that's your day number one. Then the day you start seeing the flow again is your last day. And when you calculate the period, the distance, the days involved between these two flow and the first flow, the subsequent flow again is your one cycle. Then remember, from what she just told us, that when the flow ends, do not determine. I hope I'm right, doctor.
Do
Like when the menstrual flow stops, is there any of significant? Does it play any role in the cycle?
No, it does not play any role in calculating the cycle. It's just the
Okay.
first day that
The
matters.
first day that matters. Okay,
Yes.
that's very great. So now the next thing you have seen the method. What I will now ask you is there any range of days that every woman will have for one cycle, one menstrual cycle, or does it vary from individual?
Okay, now the normal, it's a range. Currently it's from 24 to 35 days. That's the current range now. So from 24 to 25. So it varies in different women. Different women have their own um menstrual cycle length, and even the same woman, the cycle length can change, but it should not be more than 9 days for any particular woman. Like if by the time you calculate your cycle length, let's assume your cycle length is usually you are supposed to see it on a particular day, it should not come more than 9 days away from that particular day. So it varies even in a particular individual. It is different.
Okay. So it varies from individual to individual. So there are people that have 24-day cycle, people
Yes,
with 26,
yes,
people with 28. But
yes,
commonly people use 28.
yes. People use 28 because
Uh,
that's like 4 weeks. So
Okay, so
it's
don't be confused thinking that it's a cycle of 28 for everybody. Check your own and find out your own cycle, the duration, whether it is 24. She has said it all. Then the next question is an established cycle. Can it be altered again in the future? Like, and a woman has established her cycle, like you taught us now,
mm-hmm.
from one month to the next, you'll be able to record it for a period of 3 months, and from her, you are advised to do it more. The longer you do this, the more accurate the results, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, a woman that have already established her own cycle, maybe she now knew that her cycle is 26 days, and sometimes when you know your cycle, I think it rhymes with the calendar. Maybe such woman will be towards every 22nd of every month I will be expecting my menstruation.
Doesn't always work like that though.
Okay, because the calendar changes.
Mm-hmm.
We have leap year, we have this, but
Mm-hmm.
there should be a range, right?
Yes, you can even see your period twice a month.
Very correct.
Yes, because if I see my period on the first of the month and then it's a 28-day cycle, the next one might be coming on
The
29th. It's
same
not
month.
the same month. So it's not
Yes,
like
yes.
it must
So
be a different month.
months. So I hope you viewer you understand what she's saying here. It's possible for a woman to see her period twice in one calendar month. Like in March, we are now in February, though February is difficult because it's a shorter day month.
Yes.
But let's say in March, we might have 30 days. If your own cycle is short enough, like if it is up to 26 and it happened on the 1st March, you can still expect it on the same month, March, becoming 25th or 27th of March.
Yes.
So it's not abnormality having your cycle
Twice
twice
in
in
the
one
same month.
calendar month, but it's abnormal having your cycle twice in your own month.
Yes.
I guess so.
Yes.
Okay, so I said, can established
Yes,
cycle be altered?
definitely. An established cycle can change. Let's get the fact first of all that my cycle is 28 days does not mean every 28, if I count 28 days, I must see the cycle this next period on the 28th of that day. Because the body is not like a time machine that just clicks like clock. It's if it's 28-day cycle, I may not see it on that 20. Maybe this month might be 27 or 29. So, but that does not mean that a cycle has changed. For you to say that your cycle length has changed is when it is more than 9 days away from what you have calculated. So if I'm supposed to see my period on say the 8th of March, and 9 days after 8th of March I have not seen my period, it means that my cycle length has changed. But if I see it within 9 days after that time, it is still the same cycle. The body is not like a machine that is held rigid. It can alter. Then there are things that can change your cycle length. Like one of the most common things that can change your cycle length is stress. Stress can actually change your cycle length. If you are For some people, it makes them to, what happens is when you are stressed, there is this release of hormones in your body that can alter a lot of things in your body. For some people, it might make their periods shorter. For some, it might make their periods very very long. Another thing that can make people's cycle to change is gaining weight. If you gain weight, like in a very very short time, add up so much weight, it can prolong your cycles. Okay, then things that might change your cycle, if you are ill also. Yes, if you are sick during that period, your body is undergoing so much stress and trying to conserve energy, trying to limit the energy. So there's more likelihood that you are going to skip your period for that month, not necessarily because you are pregnant, but because you are very ill and your body is trying to take care of itself. You cannot afford to be losing blood and then you are sick. I mean, that would be so disastrous. So it can also change cycle length of a person. And there are many other reasons, but these
Okay.
ones are the commonest reasons.
Okay, thank you very much. These things are very clearly explained, and I hope you viewer you're enjoying her classes and her tutorials. So ask your questions there in the comment box if you have any, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video to save and encourage good health. Thank you. Okay, she has actually told us what can change our menstrual length or menstrual period, what can cause the other. Now, I want you, Dr. Nneoma, to also explain to us how one can use this menstrual cycle to know a fertile period. How can it help a woman to know when she's fertile?
Okay. Now, knowing when you are fertile or not has to do with the period you are ovulating. What is ovulation? It is the release of egg from the ovary of a woman. So that is what is called ovulation. Now, because for fertility to occur, there has to be the meeting of a sperm and an egg. So there is always sperm, let's assume. So your fertile period has to do with when you have the egg ready and the period around that. Okay, so we have to first of all know how to calculate the ovulation period, and that's what we are going to do now. Okay, thank you.
I love you. Thank you for watching.